In this video, I'm going to teach you how to work with manufacturer families in just a little bit more detail. And so what I want to do is just click through the families that we just downloaded from the Hayworth website and familiarize ourselves with the options that are available. So I'm going to start with the fern chair right here. And when I click on it, this is so cool. Um, Look what I have the option to change. So here I can set, it has what are called parameters set up where the person that created this family, and we'll create our own families in a later module, but the person who created this family allowed you the option to change the different finishes on it. And you can see here there's, lots of different finishes or components of this chair that have potential to be changed and customized. So we can see them here, and if I click on the this little box right here, it will allow me to kind of search through the parameters and associate a parameter with it, which I don't want to get into that right now. What I want to do right now is I want to show you how to edit this type and look at the flexibility of your options here. Okay, so you can see here that there's the ability to associate parameters and select finishes here, but then here it allows you to select the post hardware and caster finish. And so that's what I want to mess with right now because that will offer us some options with our knowledge base that we currently have. So right now it's got these settings here, but let's go ahead and click on this box and see, will it show us any? No, it will not. It makes us want to work. Okay, well, for now, I want you to be aware that those possibilities are there, and I want us to leave them, but I also want to show you that you can check and uncheck box. Look at the options on this. We can tell Hayworth that we want adjustable arms, fixed arms, 4D arms. And this probably has an impact on the price, but it allows us to then, if we set these, send this plan to Hayworth for pricing or have them send us one back. You can see here that within this identity data, you've got information about the warranty, the product, the sustainability information. Sometimes it's here as well. We're going to hit apply and OK. So not as much flexibility as I was hoping for with the fern chair. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so the poppy chair is probably gonna, want us to associate different parameters for it right now. But let's go ahead to edit type and see if we've got any other options here. Nope, not really. We can change between bases. Okay, and let's look at this one. So the stacking chair, let's hit edit type. And then here we've got the ability to change the frame finish and the seat finish as well. Now, when I click on these, I can click on this, which will associate the parameter, but if I click on this, 3 little dots appear. And that's what I was hoping to find before, but it wasn't behaving for me, and it was just because I was clicking on the wrong box. But the other families that we have will allow us to do that. Now, when I click on any of these, it reveals that little box with the 3 dots, and it's giving me, it's linking me to the material library. Okay, now what's cool about this is a material library that exists within our particular Revit file. But since we downloaded these Hayworth families, now we have some of their finishes as well, okay? So I can change this from, let's say, this Admiral color to a different fabric. Now, right now, there's just a couple here. Let's change it to Sunflower. Now we're going to get into tweaking all this stuff in a little bit, but for right now, if I hit OK, apply, OK, let's take a look at that now. Let's take a look at that chair right now. Okay. Now, oh, it's right here. Okay, I'm gonna hit the save button because sometimes when you render things, it takes a long time. And I don't want anything to crash. Okay, now let's go ahead and change the graphic display options to realistic, and let's see. Let's see if that chair turns yellow. Nope, it's not turning yellow. Let's see here. What about if I change the seat finish? Let's take a look. Okay, everything looks like it's good. Let's hit apply. Okay. Oh, I hope it's green. There, it's green. Okay, I might not have checked the apply button. Okay, let's go ahead and change this one now. Will it let us? Let's see. Okay, now right now it's set on the King Light Gray. Let's go ahead and change that one to make it green also. There it is. So this changes that particular family. Now, let's take a look here and let's copy it. I'm not sure why it's not letting me change the finish here. It also should let me change the finish here, but so it goes. Okay, let's go ahead and change the upholstery from here. All right, and let's change it from grass. Let's change it to slate. Okay, so now you can see that it allows us to change it on an individual basis. So it doesn't overwrite the parameters of the family. All right, now if I decided that I wanted to open up this family and edit it, then I can change the colors here. And when I reload it into the project, it's if I change anything at this level, it's going to change any copies of this furniture piece, okay? And it may not even let me do it. It's not going to let me do it at this level, which is good. They don't, Hayworth doesn't want us messing with their families too much. Now, I could unpin it maybe and mess with it some more. See, they don't want us messing with their families. So that's a good thing because that means that they're sort of right protecting these. Okay, so I'm going to close this now. I don't want to change anything about it. But I can now see these families and I can see how I can change them by operating on them through the materials library. Now, again, it's easy to go back and change anything in whichever view you want. And notice that I can edit this family. See, it's pinned. Can I delete it? Nope. Okay, let's see if I can unpin it and delete it. Yeah, okay. So then same thing, it's gonna load into the project. It's gonna ask me what projects do I want to load it in, and we are gonna go ahead and we'll load it into this one. And see, now there's no chair. Now you still see it in the floor plan view because I didn't change the floor plan, the drawing of the floor plan. See, so in order to do that, I'd have to unpin it and then I delete it there. And then when I load it into the project, it should, yeah. So if in order to delete something and reload it, and you can see on these families, you have to change it not just in the plan, but also delete it in the rendered like 3D form of it and vice versa. Now, the nice thing about this master file is, of course, if I make a bunch of changes to this chair here, this version of the fern chair, I still have the nice clean version in my master file that I can continue to bring in. Okay, so you've learned how to edit the properties of these furniture pieces. We haven't associated global parameters yet, and really that's outside of a lot of our scope for this class. But you do know that you can click on these furniture pieces, you can click on their names here, and you could go visit the materials library. Now, in a later module, we're going to create our own custom materials. So if you had a fabric from, let's say, Kravet, and you wanted to put it on this chair from Hayworth, and Hayworth didn't allow that as one of their options down here, you could have your own um, upholstery applied to it, and we would just have to change a couple settings in here. And then you can make Hayworth's chair upholstered in any finish you want, and you could even change the color of the chrome or the metal or the plastic. Now, in actuality, Hayworth may not let you make all of those changes, but with Revit in a rendering, you can do pretty much anything you want. So hopefully now you have a little bit better of an understanding of manipulating families from a manufacturer's website, and that they really do work very similar to the ones that are out of the box from Revit itself, except that you've got an entire universe, it seems like, of options from manufacturers that you can work with that allows so much more capability than the out of the box task chairs, for example, with Revit. Okay.